So, as requested, here's your joke. What is king of the pencil case? The ruler, of course. Ha 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 ha. Actually, that one's pretty funny. So, we've been using graphing to solve a system of equations, but that's not always the easiest because you can't always tell where they overlap, and sometimes it's off the grid, and so we need to look at other options, and one of those options is by substitution. And so that's what we're going to look at today, solving by substitution. So if I have this system of equations, 2x plus y equals 9 and x plus 4y equals 1, I can solve for either x or y, and so I'm actually going to solve this first one for y, since y doesn't have a coefficient, and I get y equals negative 2x plus 9. Well, I can take that and substitute that in for y, and that will give me an equation that looks like x plus 4 times y, which is negative 2x plus 9, and now I'll distribute, and I get x plus negative 8x plus 36 equals 1, and that gives me negative 7x equals negative 35, and I divide both sides by negative 7, and I get x equals 5. So now that I know x is 5, I have to figure out what y equals. So I'm going to take x equals 5, and I'm going to plug that in to my original equation, and I get y equals negative 2 times 5 plus 9, so that's negative 10 plus 9, which equals negative 1. So x equals 5, y equals negative 1, which means my answer is 5, negative 1. Let's look at another one. Okay, so I have x minus 2y equals y, and 2x minus 5y equals 4. So I'm going to solve the first one for x. Now something to keep in mind here is that second one, both x and y have a coefficient, so it's not convenient to solve that for either x or y, because then you're going to have to do some dividing. But back to the first one, I'm going to add 2y to both sides, so I get x equals 3y, and I'm going to take that and plug it in, or substitute, as it were. So I end up with 2 times 3y minus 5y equals 4. That's 6y minus 5y equals 4. So y equals 4. Now that I know what y equals, I'm going to take that and plug it in up here, and I get x equals 3 times 4, which is 12. So 12, 4 would be my answer there. What if I have y equals 4x minus 5 and 8x minus 2y equals 20? Well, the first one is already solved for y, so I don't even have to do any work there. So that means I'm going to have 8x minus 2 times 4x minus 5 equals 20. And then I've got 8x minus 8x plus 10 equals 20. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides, and then I'm going to combine like terms, and I end up with 0 equals 10. And that makes no sense. So this has no solution, because I got something that makes no sense. So similar to the last problem, I went ahead and solved these and showed you, and we end up with 6x equals 6x. Well, that does make sense, and that means that there are infinitely many solutions. So infinitely many solutions for this problem. So again, we still have 1, 0, or a bunch. And I'm going to end with a pun. To do your math homework with a broken pencil is pointless. Right? Because a broken pencil has no point. Like the tip. Ha ha ha.